All right, Mr. Wally King, finalist number one, getting ready to face the judges panel.
Congratulations on making it this far. It's I know how you feel, and can you tell me a story of one of your hunts where you had to face adversity?
I was in the perfect spot for this bull to come out. It was, opening day. He hadn't had any pressure yet.
On the fifth or sixth day, I hit an elk that went through my shooting window. And as it went through my shooting window, instead of it going in and pausing, that elk basically sprinted through my window as I released the shot.
That's kind of the philosophy I took, was I'd rather lose an opportunity from being too aggressive than lose the opportunity from not being aggressive enough and just watching them walk away.
I wasn't even sure if I hit him. The ups and downs of hitting, wounding, and losing an animal.
You make sure everything's perfect, and then a tidal wave hits you. So what are you going to do, right? So I didn't get the bull, but I still got a cow, and that was the result of pushing through.
Congratulations on that cow elk. That thing was a giant. I remember seeing the picture of the foot you posted, and it was really cool.
Hey, Cody, Doug Hutchins. If you had a time machine and you wanted to zoom back and either relive one of your hunts or go back to a hunt and maybe change it a little to alter the outcome, what hunt would that be?
To relive would be my Wyoming antelope. To alter would be my elk season.
Man, when we found that pronghorn several miles away after not seeing anything, seeing him like just showing the interest in pursuing it was enough to brighten my day. But when we snuck in on that thing and we got 250 yards away and he squeezed the trigger off, it completely rearranged our view of what's possible in his world. And so that was like the biggest bonding moment I've had really in my whole life. And so that was the number one most special thing for me this year.
We all have rituals we do when we get ready to go hunting and while we're hunting. And so an example would be I always pick up a little flower or a rock and take it back with me. And that's my touchstone, about the hunt. So what's your favorite ritual around hunt?
If you ask any of my buddies, my ritual is waking everybody up to Fred Bear by Ted Nugent. That song going as the alarm clock is the hunting song for my hunting group. It just amps us all up. We're listening to that song and we're just jamming.
This year was kind of a banner year, it sounds like, for you. So what were some of maybe the highlights you had or kind of finer moments that you remember?
We saw 10 bears in 7 days. One of them I was able to harvest. I was also able to harvest this wolf on that same hunt.
I thought your dog was being really still back there. Did you face any ethical dilemmas maybe this year?
In Wyoming, there was a time where my buddy and I were sitting there, and the goats were right on the property line. They had to have been within 10 feet of it, but you can't see it. You can't see the property line. It's just an imaginary line. And, making that choice to play it safe, we just ended up waiting them out until they came back.
I should have checked with the rest of the party, or at least Peter, if I should continue shooting after I'd already shot one. And the other two came right after that first one. And I had it in my mind that I wanted to get a couple deer for a couple buddies that couldn't make it hunting this year, and maybe jump the gun on that, so to speak.
Yeah, man, tough calls when you got a loaded gun with a bunch of targets in front of you.
You could shoot that buck that's out there, and nobody would ever know, right? But you would know, and you just feel like crap about it. And so, those situations are probably the ones that I encountered the most.
Was getting to this point of being a finalist a target for you, or was it the culmination of realizing what a year you had that then you kind of almost thought to yourself, man, maybe I should put myself in this running? And then does that motivate you to do better next year, or is it set a standard for you, or how do you view that moving forward?
Yeah, so the way that my year started, I didn't even think I'd be here at all. I told my wife that I would have been happy just getting out a few times, with our girl coming early and having a new baby and stuff like that. I've had a problem in the past of being gone a lot too much from my family. And so I told my wife that my time was going to be more intentional this year. I was not a goal to do Outdoorsman, right? I got to go on the On Point experience, and that was incredible in and of itself. And then come December, when the applications came out, like, I didn't fill one out for a couple of weeks, and then I was sitting there, I was like, if I take away the fact that I did win the On Point experience, like, this year was incredible. From what I got to experience, the animals that I harvested, like 3 of them are at the taxidermist. I've never sent an animal to the taxidermist before. Like, this is just a year that I probably will not repeat. The year just like compounded on itself. I had one of the best years ever. If I would have killed an elk, it would have been even better, right?
This season was an absolute anomaly blessing for me. It's many years coming, but with the added pressure of my wife and I being pregnant and having our first child this coming July, at the beginning of this season, I knew I needed to make the most out of this season. Now, putting myself into this competition was really just to support HuntLeague. I see what Jared's doing. I see what the community of HuntLeague is doing, and I want to be part of that.
I deleted my Facebook account like 2 years ago. I just got tired of the negativity on there, especially towards hunters. HuntLeague has been nothing but positive. Like everyone on the platform is positive. Like, we're all there to help each other. I see people putting up their posts. It kind of keeps me going, especially like during some of the longer hunts I've had where, you know, you're just out there grinding day in, day out, and you're not getting any luck, but you're seeing people have success. It just makes you want to get back out there. In fact, like during those days that I was down from being sick, I was on the app watching other people pull animals in, and it just that actually fed into my confidence. It's a great place to build community, and I don't really use any other social media besides that and YouTube at this point.
One thing I forgot to ask earlier, I felt it was really unique to your story. I love that you asked permission. Where did you get the idea, number one, that, hey, maybe I should write some letters? And then number two, to go to the effort to do 64 is like insane, I feel like, and totally unheard of. And that's something that was unique to you.
It's a lot of work, you know, a lot of time printing things, signing things. I send out a waiver. I carried insurance policy, like the whole 9 yards, right? Because I want to be professional. There's too many people that I hear back from that are like, had a bad experience, don't like hunters because of X, Y, and Z. They left the gate open, like all these different things. It works out. You know, I got, 63 no's or something like that. But hey, it worked out. So I don't know. It's just something I do extra. I mean, why not? If you have the time, send them out. Worst you'll hear is no.
I pinged the hunt community, asked everyone on HuntLeague if they had any good appetizer ideas, because these were all going to be like non-hunters. Most of them had never had wild game, so I wanted to bring wild game to them so they could see what it's all about. So yeah, I got that recipe from Lenny Valerio from the HuntLeague. I smoked elk backstrap on wood from my shop. People couldn't believe it was elk, and there was almost 30 people. They all had it. It went pretty quick, and I was talking to people the whole time about hunting. And most of these people were non-hunters.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, the best way to anybody's heart is through their stomach, right? So that's awesome.
I'd have to say for my buddy Marco, who came out from Georgia and said he wanted to get into hunting for his first big game animal, and for me to be able to kind of help guide him in that direction. Ultimately, it was on him. I mean, he was the one that hiked in there to go get it. I feel very rewarded being a part of his hunt.
I feel like that's mentorship done right. From his interview to his podcast to the write-up, everything about the guy just screams like humble sportsman.
You could tell it just seemed like this is life for him.
These are the equivalencies of those like business decisions no one wants to make, but they have to be made.
I mean, dude, it's really hard. Every one of them is fantastic.
Ray, we've come to a decision. Who is the 2023 Outdoorsman of the Year?
Yeah, well, I'd like to congratulate on becoming the 2023 Outdoorsman of the Year. You did it, bud.